And now, it's time for Southern California's sports fishing voice. Let's talk hookup. For the next 2 hours, join Pete Gray, rock cod Rick Maxa, and this week's special expert guest for fishing information, new techniques to catch more fish, and the most current scoop on what's happening in the water. Let's Talk Hookup is sponsored in part by Yamaha Outboards. Reliability starts here. By Ford, the official truck of Let's Talk Hookup. And Shimano Rods and Reels. Fish with the best. Shimano. Get ready for the fastest 2 hours on radio with the hosts of Let's Talk Hookup, Pete Gray and Rock Cod Rick Maxa.
Good morning, anglers, and welcome to Let's Talk Hookup. I'm Pete Gray with Rock Cod Rick Maxa. We're in the Mighty 1090 studios with Captain Fred Huber from the Daily Double. We're talking half-day fishing and more on this great Sunday morning. You stay tuned to Southern California's sport fishing voice. It's Let's Talk Hookup on the Mighty 1090.
For local and long-range fishing, the Islander out of Fisherman's Landing is a favorite among seasoned or novice anglers. But Islander Charters is much more than great fishing. They also do incredible Guadalupe white shark diving trips as well as a schedule of kayak mothership trips. You need to check out the Islander on their website, islander-charters.com. The Islander is San Diego's leader when it comes to 2 to 5 day fishing. Watch the website for trips and adventures available. Experience the Islander difference. Visit islander-charters.com for all the details.
There's a new kid in town, and they are creating near miracles on boats all over the Southland. It's Blue Seas Fabrication, the West Coast first and only certified sea deck fabricator and installer. Install sea deck EVA from non-skid decking materials on your boat, sport fisher, or yacht, and your boating experience is enhanced and improved. Why? Well, first, sea deck from Blue Seas Fabrication enriches the look of any boat, old or new. Next, the sea deck non-skid decking material adds comfort, convenience, safety, and value. The possibilities are endless. Let the experts from Blue Seas Fabrication show you how sea deck will make your life easier and better on every trip. Their professional staff will custom fit your deck, bridge, and interior with the stylish, non-absorbent, stain-resistant, and easy-to-clean material in multiple textures, designs, and colors. Sea deck offers comfort and anti-fatigue properties for those long days of fishing. It can also be used on kayaks, boat trailers, and more. See for yourself. Check BlueSeasFabrication.com to see how Sea Deck can transform your watercraft and truly create a wow factor for the next time you head out. Call them at 858-232-4188 for more information and a free quote. Check BlueSeasFabrication.com and enhance your fishing experience.
The bluefin are abundant this year, but getting them to bite is another story. But if you're willing to chase them, there's an opportunity to land the catch of a lifetime. Now, getting the deal of a lifetime on a new Ford is much less effort because the gigantic summer sales event is going on now at your San Diego County Ford dealer. Choose from a great selection of cars, trucks, and SUVs and save big on interest charges with 0 APR long-term financing. On top of that, your Ford dealer will give you an additional bonus for your qualified trade. This special offer is available to anyone who gets approved through Ford Motor Credit. You'll also find great deals on new Ford Super Duty, Motor Trend Magazine's 2017 Truck of the Year. So why chase deals all over town when you can land the deal of a lifetime on a new Ford car, truck, or SUV you've always wanted during the Ford Summer Sales Event? Stop by any San Diego County Ford dealer today. They'll be glad to hook you up. Learn more at buyfordnow.com.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Hookup on the Mighty 1090. Going to be a fun show today, talking fishing in one of my favorite places in the whole world.
Yeah, indeed. Southern California half-day fishing with Captain Fred Huber from the Daily Double. Good morning, Fred.
Hey, Fred.
Morning, Pete. Morning, Rick.
Good to have you, buddy.
Great to have you in the Mighty 1090 studios. By the way, you want to see what it looks like in the Mighty 1090 studios right now, go to either our Instagram or Facebook page, Hookup 1090 on Instagram, and Facebook is Let's Talk Hookup Radio Show, and you can see Fred and myself and Rick right here in the studio right now.
So to it.
Yeah, there it is. Hey, Fred, what's going on at Daily Double? Fish are biting.
We've had some exceptional calico bass fishing. It's been really fun last couple of weeks here.
So
we've seen the fish really turn on. We saw water pushing up to 70, 71 degrees. We've had a beautiful mix of bait. plastics have worked real well. A little bit on the surface irons. That's when we really feel like we're in the thick of things, when they're eating the surface iron good, but just a little bit on that. So we're liking what we're seeing. There's been some pelagics. We've already had some shots at yellows this year. Our Point Loma boat had a couple nice sea bass the other day.
Ooh, nice.
We're starting to see some barracuda and bonita around. It's starting to feel like summer.
That's
yeah,
cool,
no
man.
kidding. And I know Steve has been running over to the Coronado Islands, and the yellows are starting to bite over there, right?
Yeah, they're seeing that's another place where there's an exceptional mix of bass, bonita, barracuda, yellowtail, kind of the traditional stuff what we're used to seeing. We're not just stuck on the yellowtail. Seeing more of a mix of our traditional 3Bs and the YTs.
Cool.
Yes.
Full variety, fun fishing. That's rad.
Conditions are improving.
Yes, it's been kind of up and down year. We've had a couple of upwellings that have kind of thrown a monkey wrench in us a couple of times this past week, but fish are there. It's just a matter of catching it when the water pushes in, and unless somebody has a crystal ball, it's hard to know. You got to get on the boat and check it out.
But upwellings are normal, right? That's normal water conditions, right?
Yeah, well, we've been so blessed these last 3 years of El Nino. It's just been a constant push of warm water. On and on and on. It's like we've gotten to expect it. Now this is more traditional. We're getting back to Southern California normal fishery.
Yeah, well, and people will probably debate whether that is a blessing, El Nino is a blessing or not. It depends on where you are and what you're doing, right? But for the half-day guys, it was a lot of different exotics coming into the local market.
Yes, we saw some of the best yellowtail fishing, and then last year that was some of the best calico bass fishing I've seen.
Really,
no kidding.
Quite a while.
Really,
so.
Yeah, but some pretty good calico bass fishing using anchovies for bait, right?
Yeah, we've had a beautiful supply of anchovies. It's when that water's kind of cold, that anchovy it comes in a really good condition. I mean
Cool.
It hasn't been in the boxes for a few days, and it's hot, and it's it's a good fly line bait. And of course, when you're chumming that bait, that's just opens the door to good plastics and lure fishing.
Gets those things activated.
Yes, we're waking them up out there. You see that little herd of bass come up and just grow on the corner, and you're looking down the water, and it looks like an aquarium. And there's been a couple of times this past week where I've looked at 25 fish in the water, and without catching one, that's just a sight
so cool,
to behold.
Dude.
Yeah,
so
that's
cool.
So what is the trick right now when you're coming out on the daily double or any other half day trip? What's the tackle? What's the technique? You said plastics are big, huh?
I tell you, I was fishing those whams for a while, and
that's Ricky's favorite.
I love nothing.
And you know what kind of dawned on me? It's the same style of bait as a scampi.
Totally.
And those scampies, I dug some up out of my garage last year, and excuse me, they fish really good. And I mean, they're just a tough plastic, and it's the same style. I kind of refer to it as a drop bait.
Sure.
Where it
like
works
right on the fall.
Yeah, on the fall or just in gear. Just as slow a grind as you can, painfully slow. I refer to it to some of the customers. Just wind it in painfully slow, and it loads up, and here we go.
That's cool. How heavy a sinker or a lead head rather are you fishing on that style thing? Whether it's a wham or a scampi or that kind of thing.
I like a 3/4 ounce.
Quarter. Okay.
Yeah.
And does the shape make a difference?
I don't think so.
Well,
honestly, I know with the whams that kind of bullet head works really good.
That's a key, huh? So what about new people that want to come fishing? Daily Double's a perfect opportunity, right?
The best.
Yeah,
you take a lot of new people out.
We welcome all. There's times when I know we're getting outfished, and I look at the anglers on the other boat, and it's like, okay, I get it. We're carrying a lot of new people, a lot of rent rodders, and we work with them. If somebody's showing a little bit of expertise, somebody's in town from out of town, and they don't have their own gear with them, but they can handle a rod and reel, we'll get them fly lining. We'll put a small slider on for them. But we've had some really good sinker fishing on the calico bass as well, just a dropper loop and shooting them down, and we work with them. And it's a good time. There's something really rewarding about taking the first timers out, or the people from Arizona that had never done it before, and I get a lot of repeat business on that. So
cool.
So we always look forward to those folks.
Now, you changed the hours of the run a little bit this year, which I thought was an awesome idea, and you've got a unique schedule that the Daily Double operates. Still 2 trips, as it always has been, but at different times. How's that been working as the season rolls on?
I've gotten a lot of positive feedback. I wish I'd see a little bit more positive feedback at the ticket window. We're doing 2 trips, so we pushed it back a couple hours. We're leaving at 8:30 in the morning, getting back at 2:30 in the afternoon, which everybody's always liked the midday run.
Yeah,
the midday run has a lot of people not having to get out of bed early, but yet not having to wait till noon, 1 o'clock
exactly.
to get on the boat and go. And then the second trip
it's like
is
gentlemen's hours.
It's perfect.
Yes, it's gentlemen's hours. And when that's the only trip we run, it's banker's hours, too. But then the second trip, we're leaving at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, getting back at 8:30 in the evening. And that's been a fun trip. It's nice being out there and catching the end of the day. Tactics-wise, I'm kind of just now starting to get a feel for it. We've been shooting down to IB towards the end of that trip. It's like we'll catch a calico bite first thing, and then we'll shoot down to IB, and we've had some good success on sand bass. Not rip-roaring yet. It's still early, but I got a feeling that as this season rolls on, we're going to catch some sand bass at the end of the day, and that's always a fun trip.
You made a mention when you were talking about earlier that one of the advantages that those hours give you is it's off of what the quote-unquote traditional is, so you get the grounds to yourself. A lot of times when they're at their best. I mean, how many times have you run the Daily Double under your traditional hours, and right as you're leaving is when all that good, mid-morning fishing was building and building and building, and hey, it's time to go, we got to get the next go, and you got to leave it. Now you got those prime time windows totally to yourself.
Yeah, well, I'm enjoying the freedom of having things to myself, and you never know. I mean, some days it's going to be happening first thing in the morning.
Sure.
Thursday, I can tell you, we rolled out there. That water had been kind of cold. We rolled into a spot. It was 67 degrees, and the guys on the other boats were kind of grumbling. And within a half hour, we watched the current push downhill. We rolled in. Fish popped a little bit on the chum. And within a half hour, the water temp went from 67.1 to 69.7.
Wow.
And you could not have stepped into it any better than that. And that was like 10, 11 o'clock in the morning. And as we were starting to get bit really good, those guys had gotten a little taste of it, but they had to go in.
They had to leave.
Sure.
Oh, darn.
Well,
had it all to yourself.
Well, yeah, I'm rooting for the other guys too now.
Yeah, of course you are. Yeah.
So when it comes to local fishing like that, calico bass fishing, or any type of fishing that matter, when you're fishing locally, is there a more important condition than the other? Is water temperature the single most important? Is current the most important? Does it have to be all of them? Like, is there one thing where when you see it, you start licking your chops like, oh yeah, it's on today?
So going back to Thursday, when you roll into a spot and you see a fish jump out of the water before you start chumming, that's always a good sign. But, there's any number of things. And, there's spots we like to fish on an outgoing current. Most people, most of the time, we don't like seeing the outgoing currents. But there's spots that we fish, almost only in an outgoing current. Ideal situation, some sort of inward current, clean, warm water, traditional stuff. Mm-hmm. And, one thing, going back to the other guys, we have become, I feel, locally almost better as a fleet, because as those guys are coming out, I've got a good eye on what's going on.
Surely. Totally.
And likewise, they'll help me out as well. So.
Yeah, and then the vice versa. When they're coming out on their afternoon run, you've got an eye out for them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's only at the end of the day that I'm all by myself.
Okay. That's yeah, which is the advantage of where you are at Point Loma Sport Fishing is you can go basically right or left. There's a lot of territory that you cover, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And, there's a lot of overlap in Point Loma because Mission Bay can get there too, but it's that area of the south where I have I feel like there's times when I have free roam. I mean, they can get down there, but
how's that kelp down there? Is it come back and doing pretty well?
Non-existent.
Non-existent.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
It really. There was some last year. This year it is almost non-existent.
I'll be darned.
Because
there was last year. There was good kelp there.
Yeah, and even that bull kelp out in 14 fathoms. We had that phenomenal yellowtail fishing down there 2 years ago, and that bull kelp out in 14 fathoms. That's all gone.
I'll be darned.
That area, it took a while for that to fill in, but it had really filled in nice, and boy, it's gone now.
I'll be darned.
That's such an interesting deal. That kelp goes away and comes back so fast and goes away again. It's such a weird dynamic.
Yeah, I feel lucky I get to watch all of this stuff.
That, man, that's awesome.
But the Point Loma kelp's pretty strong.
From what it's been in years past, no.
No.
I mean,
Interesting.
There's good pockets, but even that whole buoy line area, all the bull kelp on the buoy line's gone.
No kidding.
And then, the surface kelp, the stringer kelp, it pushed back a little bit. I mean,
takes time to recover after the warm water years.
It does. It's we're seeing some cooler water. It'll I have confidence. It'll come back.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, as you can hear, we have a great show lined up for you today. Fred's a wealth of knowledge for local fishing, Coronado Islands, all the surroundings.
Yeah, you're not kidding. And so fortunate to have a guy who's on the water literally every day in the studio sharing that knowledge. I mean, there's probably not many guys out there who've seen more calico bass come over the rail than the guy sitting next to us right now. So it's going to be a great show with some really good information. And if you want to be a part of it, we want to hear from you. A great opportunity to talk to Captain Fred. If you want to give us a call this morning, there's two ways that you can reach us. First is with our local line. Our local number is 858 area code 457-1090. Again, 858-457-1090. Or you can reach us toll-free. That toll-free line is 877-792-1090. One more time, 877-792-1090. Not only are you talking about local bass fishing, yellowtail fishing, sea bass fishing, all things fishing today. Going to be a great show. Talking a lot about the Daily Double. We're also giving away a great prize. One lucky caller at the end of the show today is going to win a half-day trip for two to go fishing aboard the Daily Double out of Point Loma Sport Fishing. If you want to bring somebody that needs fishing tackle, the rental's going to be completely included. Everything you need to get in on this great fishing that we're going to be talking about all day today. One person's going to get 2 passes to go aboard the Daily Double. And again, if you want to get your shot at winning that great trip, or better yet, your chance to talk to Captain Fred, 858-457-1090 or 877-792-1090. When we come back, we're going to be taking your phone calls. Lots of great information coming your way. You stay tuned. You're listening to Southern California's sport fishing voice. It's Let's Talk Hookup on the mighty 1090.
This is Pete Gray to tell you about one of my favorite places to fish in the world. It's Whalers Cove Lodge in Angoon, Alaska. For several years now, we've been hosting groups at Whalers Cove, and this is certainly one trip I do not miss. Each year, the Powers family makes great improvements to the lodge that make this great lodge even better. New rooms, new boats, new fish processing facilities, new outdoor kitchen. The list goes on and on. As for fishing, the calm waters around Whalers Cove are 100 miles from any large town, so you will enjoy wilderness adventure without the crowds. Whalers Cove Lodge has some of the best salt and freshwater fishing in Alaska, and there's no need for a bumpy boat ride for hours. You can find productive fishing for salmon, halibut, and rockfish just 10 minutes from the lodge. Here's the deal. The word is out on Whalers Cove, so you want to go? Book soon. WhalersCoveLodge.com or call 800-423-3123. WhalersCoveLodge.com for the Alaska fishing experience of a lifetime.
Everyone likes special treatment, kind of feel like a VIP. Well, that's how our listeners are treated at Poway Valley Collision. I have personally heard of several stories of how well our friends Jim and Mary take care of their customers that we sent them. Poway Valley Collision is worth the drive from anywhere in the Southland. We know you may not need them today, but when accidents happen, it pays to go to Poway Valley Collision. And listen to this. Our listeners get a special discount that can save you hundreds of dollars on your car or truck repair. Just tell them you listen to the show and you get the deal. They work with most insurance companies, including Auto Club, MetLife, Wawanesa, and more. Just bring your car or truck to them and let Poway Valley Collision do the rest. I have had my truck repaired at Poway Valley Collision, and the job was perfect. So get your vehicle fixed right at Poway Valley Collision. Tell them you listen to Let's Talk Hookup, and they'll save you money on your repair. Poway Valley Collision, 14211 Garden Road in Poway. Check PowayValleyCollision.com.
Cast Tours is a family-owned and operated travel company that specializes in taking you to great fishing destinations. They take pride in providing the best and most affordable vacation packages available. For over 20 years, Cast Tours has been creating unique sport fishing and vacation trips. Whether it's a fishing trip, a family vacation, or an adventure, they will provide you the service and value you deserve. Call Cast Tours at 800-593-6510 or check casttours.com.
Fishing is a lifestyle for many of us, and what you wear on your feet is a big part of that. So I like to live aloha and wear Olokai premium footwear. Every pair is created with the Hawaiian culture and heritage in mind, plus unique details and features. Olokai sandals are the best I've ever worn because they're based on the feeling of your bare foot in wet sand for natural heel cup and arch support. Nothing could be more comfortable and good for your feet. Olokai makes footwear for any time of day or night. My favorite Olokai sandals are the Ohana. Water resistant and great for the beach or the boat. Olokai is always coming out with great new styles too, like the Nohea Moku that features a no-tie bungee lace with patented drop-in heel that lets you slide right in. And the razor sip bottom delivers plenty of traction on the boat deck. Share your aloha with the Olokai crew by following them on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at Olokai and tagging your photos with hashtag AnywhereAloha. Olokai footwear is now available at Fisherman's Landing Tackle, Dana Landing, and other fine tackle stores or Olokai.com.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Hookup. On the mighty 1090 phones are definitely packing up. There's literally only one single phone line open, the entire building, and if you want it, it's our local line. It's 858 area code 457-1090.
All right, let's go ahead and jump into the phones.
You got it. How about we start it off this morning with Ed, who's calling us from Mira Mesa. Ed, good morning. Thanks for getting us started here on Let's Talk Hookup.
Hey, morning, guys. My question is for Captain Fred there. Last year I was using gulp bait and had pretty good success using that. This year it's not going. It seems to be not happening with that. And also I was wondering, maybe could it be the color as far as overcast skies? What color would you use for something like that? With also the sun shining down pretty bright, what color would you use with that as well?
What I've seen with those gulp baits, they don't necessarily have the best action as compared to some of the other swim baits and drop baits. And, I know they got the scent, and I know the fish like them, but I would be thinking more along the lines of the action of the bait compared to like a swim bait and a drop bait. That to us is more key. I mean, a lot of times color sometimes they'll get stuck on one color, and if you have confidence in the bait and the action of it, then we'll switch colors. But you might look at trying a different action, something other than the gulps, because changing the action, I would recommend that over worrying about color to start with.
Color doesn't really matter that much.
Well, it can. It's
on the list, but it's not at the top of important parts.
Yeah, I would switch. I think I would switch from the gulp and trying something with a different action.
Yeah, different shape.
Yeah, different shape. I mean, some of those gulps, I've been impressed at that line of bait. They've got a lot of different sizes and shapes and actions. So I would look at that first.
Do you ever get guys on the boat? We love those MC swim bait weedless. Do you ever get guys on the boat throwing the weedless when you get tight to the kelp?
Yes.
Is that working?
We haven't fished. Again, the kelp's kind of pushed back and gone, and there's times when our best fishing has been on kelp that's just barely makes it to the surface in the deadest of no current conditions. So, without the surface kelp, those MC swim weedless, they don't do much. I mean, if you're not dragging that over stringers, you're not doing much with it.
Because that's what it's designed for.
Yeah, I mean that's an awesome bait.
Yeah.
Philip loves fishing them, and I've seen him very successful with them. But I watched a young man a couple days ago wanting to fish one, and it's like without the stringers up near the surface, they do not perform that well.
Yeah.
Now, you mentioned a couple times that, fishing a drop bait like a scampi or a wham, and then traditional baits, traditional paddle tails. when does Fred make the call on to fish one or the other? You know, do you see something in the condition where, okay, that fish is higher, so I'm going to fish a paddle tail or not? I mean, is there a reason that you would choose one or the other?
No,
Flavor of the day kind of thing?
I think they fish equally well.
Okay.
I mean, in my little experience,
sure.
I don't know.
Yeah, plenty fair.
Yeah.
and what about size? I mean, is a guy, you know, is the old adage really true? A guy fishes a big bait, you're going to get less bites, but you maybe will pluck a bigger one out there. Is that not necessarily the case? I mean, should you be fishing 4 and 5 inch baits? I mean, what's a good plan of attack for a guy if he's going half day and wanting to fish plastics like Ed here?
Yeah, well, absolutely. I mean, you're going to get more action. It's like, what are you looking for? Mm-hmm. You know, if conditions are scratch, you know, drop down in size and you know, play small ball, try to catch a fish. But boy, if it's going big and they're biting really good and you're trying to avoid shorts, then, you know, go up in size.
Okay.
Indeed. Hey, thanks a lot for the phone call this morning. That does free up 877-792-1090 open right now.
All right. How about next up we talk to Ruben. He's calling us from Echo Park this morning. Hi, Ruben. Welcome to Let's Talk Hookup.
Good morning, Pete, Rick, and Fred. Half-day fishing rocks. Go big.
There you go. Good call, Ruben.
The reason I'm calling is I wanted to say that Barracuda has been underrated. I'm so glad to see it back, and I smoke it up, and the guys at the local fishing hole really love it. So I just want to say keep on doing what
there's been some big ones
around,
too,
there's some
right,
out there.
Yeah.
That's cool.
And I want to say, Fred, what you're doing out there is a great thing. It's not only this fishing, it's I met some of my best friends on half-day fishing trips out there with Paul Strassa when he was out there for many years. So what you're doing is a great thing, and I just want you to keep on doing what you're doing.
Appreciate it, Ruben.
Thanks a lot for the call. You have a lot of appreciate that. You have a lot of regulars, right, that come down.
Yeah, some over the years. I mean, there's a lot of families that you know come on a regular annual basis that we see, and it's always a joy. I mean, it's looking forward to the season and seeing different people come through.
And then you have a lot of regulars that come once a week, twice a week.
Yeah,
they fish all the time.
We've got that too.
Yeah, that's cool. It's kind of a club, the Daily Double Club.
Yes.
Ruben brought up that thing about Barracuda. I know that those guys are catching that fish up above a little bit. Have you been seeing much Barracuda in the way of down here in San Diego wise?
Not really. We have not seen that push through.
Yeah.
We've seen this last week or so a lot of short fish.
Okay.
But not a body of good fish.
It's always fun fishing, and certainly it's, you know, that's one of the steps. And you know, you were talking about having young kids on the boat and fishing around. I mean, that's like one of the steps in, you know, I would say local fishing. The highest echelon, you know, thing is, you know, catching a yellowtail and catching it on the surface iron. And the Barracuda is like how you cut your teeth learning to fish jigs and make casts and all that kind of stuff.
Absolutely. You know, it's so fun for the kids when they just tie on any shiny lure and hang on. You know, they're learning how to cast, they're learning how to point their rod tip at their line, and you know, we work with them on that and talk about how to make a jig swim better, and boy, nothing gets them hooked better than having that jig stopped or all of a sudden disappear.
That's cool.
So you guys do a lot of teaching on the Daily Double.
We try to. You know, it's like we're the entry level.
Yeah.
We feel we're the entry level, and we want to get the kids hooked on fishing. And
yeah, man.
You know, I've you know, with my kids and the baseball they play, I try to recruit a lot of kids from the little league teams. You know, we call it Camp Daily Double, where the kids get dropped off in the summertime. You know, the parents are wondering, what do I do with my kids now? You know, they're out of school. Where do we put them? Hey, bring them down to Camp Daily Double.
Yeah, come on down.
We'll show them a good time.
Yeah, and if you take the 8:30 run, you're not making them get out of bed really early. And
no,
get them down
it's
there.
perfect.
I love
Perfect
those hours,
camp.
man.
Yeah.
I love that.
That's
yes,
a good one.
we'll tire your kids out and show them what it's like to be in the outdoors.
Absolutely.
Hey, let's go south down to Rancho Leonero. Mr. John Ireland's on the line. Buenos dias, John.
Good morning, Peter. Hi, Rick.
Hi,
Fred.
John.
Hey,
Morning.
so
Well,
the great bite
good morning.
continues?
It couldn't last forever, Pete. We had an upwelling of green water that kind of slowed us down a little bit. We've got 76 degree to 82 degree mixed water out in front. The further out you go, the warmer the water gets and the cleaner it gets. That said, the fishing for the two yellowfin slowed down quite a bit, but the Dorado bite has actually improved, and the roosterfish bite is something to behold. We had a boat yesterday release 12 roosterfish over 50 pounds, if you can believe
Whoa.
that.
Get out of here.
Yeah.
Whoa.
No. Unbelievable rooster fishing right now. And as soon as this water clears back up, which it will, it's unusual for it to be that cold this time of year. And it's all the spring water coming from the south. As soon as it clears up, I expect the tuna to come back in numbers as well. Striped marlin bites really, really good. A lot of big pargo and big amberjack as well. It's real decent fishing. We just got so spoiled over the last 3 weeks, with the wide open yellowfin bite. We are still taking a few yellowfin. I'd say, 1 or 2 per boat per day, and 20 to 30 pound fish, but not like it was. And like I say, as soon as this water clears back up, we expect to be back to normal. But geez, huge roosterfish, guys. I can't tell you, they are whoppers.
That's
Get on the
great.
website
So
and
cool,
check it out.
John. That's so cool.
Bart Hall called yesterday and talked about their trip down there and Frank's trip, Frank and Kathy's birthday party, and what a great time at Rancho Leonero it was, and how incredible the roosterfish fishing was.
Their timing was perfect. Both of Bart's sons got one 70 pounds plus. Bart caught an 80 pounder. It's literally anybody who wanted to go out there and pick one. 70, 80 pounders were just. 50 pounders are common, and 70, 80 pounders are not uncommon. There's quite a few around. It's crazy.
I know
when
we were down there, John, we had a lot of roosters, but they were deep. Were they still deep when they were there, or were they back up on the shore?
Yeah. No, they're up there. They're on those first drop-offs, the big fish. It's changed, You used to see them right up against the shore, and you don't see as much of that anymore. It's not that they're not there. They're hanging on the first drop-offs is where we're picking them up. And literally almost all of these fish are being taken off the lighthouse. A few of the smaller ones are being taken off the entrance to the marina, but most of them are being right off the front of the lighthouse and right around the corner. Not 200 yards from the beach right there on that very first drop-off. And it's precipitous, It goes from 30 feet to 500 feet right there. So they're right on the edge there. They're picking them up. And but unlimited numbers. It's crazy how many they're getting. Good fishing. Fun stuff.
Great time to go to Rancho Leonero right now. The weather's great. Fishing's great. And the times are great at Rancho Leonero. You have any space available? I know it's super busy.
It's busy. The word's out. The fishing is good finally after a couple of years of the doldrums. So the bookings are really good. Some I might mention, too, the weather's been spectacular as well. It really hasn't even cracked. It hasn't even gotten in the 90s yet. And it's a very spring-like weather. I see Phoenix is 122 degrees. It's hard to believe down here because it's cool mornings and evenings. I'm still wearing a jacket down at the beach in the morning, So, yeah, it's nice.
Sounds like paradise to me. How does somebody want to come to paradise? How do they book a trip to Rancho Leonero? And I might mention, too, this time of the year, airfares are very, very good.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot more flights as well. Alaska has some new interesting flights. They got one that goes out at 7:15 in the morning, and then they got another one that leaves at 6 o'clock at night, so which means you can fit a full day on your last day, too, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
So they're adding flights like crazy, for sure. It's 800-646-2252 or rancholeonero.com.
And the advantage of that early flight on Alaska is you beat all the people coming into customs there. You get out of customs quick, huh?
Yeah, it's the first flight through. Yeah, it gets in. I think it's in like 10:30 down here. So
sounds great.
Pretty good.
All right, John.
Excellent.
Appreciate that very much, and we'll talk to you next Sunday.
Yeah, it'll be another week, better week next. As soon as we get rid of this green water, it's going to improve.
It'll be like tomorrow. All right, thanks
See you,
a lot
John.
this morning.
All right, let's head on back into the phones. Talk to Matt. He's calling us from La Mesa this morning. Good morning, Matt. Welcome to Let's Talk Hookup.
Hey, good morning, guys. Good morning, Fred. It's always fun to come out and fish with you. How do you see the sand bass bite shaping up this year? Those are always a blast to catch on the plastics.
It's a tough call. We had so little fish last year. We spent a lot of time concentrating on the calicos off the point that we kind of lost interest in it last year, and this year, boy, it's hard to know. We've had some success on our afternoon trips. We're leaving that second trip 3:00 in the afternoon, and we've catch some calico bite, and then we'll shoot down to IB towards the end, and we've had a little bit of success, but it's kind of a tough read. I have not spent a lot of time down there. We've had the water roll over on the beach a couple times, so you're always fearful of going down there and being faced with cold water. But, I would like to think the fact that there's a good body of anchovies down there this year. Everingham Brothers has just done a very good job of catching bait for us. It seems like there's chovies down there. I know there's been a few times where we've been down there and seen clouds of chovies go through, on the structure down there, and it's like, okay, the door's open. What the fish are going to do is anybody's call, but excuse me, I think the potential's there.
Have you seen some bonita around?
A little bit, when that water pushes in clean and warm up on the point, when we see the 70-degree water, it's popping. Not big bodies of fish, not yet. I know it's around. Talking to the guys fishing the islands, they've seen, bodies of bonita, bodies of barracuda.
And that water cleans up, and that stuff will push in.
Yeah.
Following the bait.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because that's feeding on that anchovy, right?
I think so. I think some of it's feeding the same thing the bluefin is feeding on offshore. That's that little stuff, and it's
2 eyes and a wiggle.
Yeah, that always makes for a tough situation where you see lots and.
But if you have a load of anchovies and the bonita move in,
game on.
Game on, yeah,
exactly.
And those bonita have been big this year.
Yes.
Yeah.
What we've seen has been good stuff. There's been some little stuff mixed in too, so we like seeing that. That's the future too.
Totally. Yeah, no doubt. Got to be a thrill for somebody new to angling to hook into a 5 or 8 pound bonita, right?
Yes, and it's a good game fish. It's a manageable fish. We always feel like they're underrated table fare, but taken care of properly, I appreciate them.
Yeah.
Those things got to 50 pounds, you could never catch them.
No, never land them. It's like those, almost maybe, I wonder if that's like one of those dogtooth snapper, because they have teeth and stuff like that. I wonder if they're related.
Oh, dogtooth tuna?
Yeah.
That could be. Who knows?
Dogtooth tuna, yeah.
Yeah, who knows?
Yeah.
I know one thing, man. Those things pull hard.
Yeah, they do. Hey, thanks a lot for the phone call this morning, Matt. That does free up 877-792-1090. Also, a local line open at 858-457-1090. You have a chance to go fishing with a friend, and have the tackle provided for you if you need it, too. So there you go.
John in Long Beach, you're up next on Let's Talk Hookup. Good morning, John. Thanks for joining us.
Hey, good morning, gentlemen. Great show as usual. I wanted to ask Fred, when you're fishing the calicos along there, do you use straight monofilament? Do you put a fluoro leader on it? I fish out of San Pedro up here a lot where I live, and I've seen guys using Spectra with a fluoro leader. I've seen them using everything across the board. What's the best setup you would think?
Great question.
Well, I'm pretty old school. I'm mono on an old True Line rod and a 30-year-old Scampy lures.
Yeah, well, that's about what I was using. I was using just straight 15-pound mono, and we had nice anchovies, so I was using anchovies for bait. But every bait in the water, you'd get bit.
Yeah, I started fishing those other lines. It's like I gotta adapt, and I gotta. My son Philip, he brings some of that tackle on the boat, and it takes me a while to figure out what's going on there. I mean, not figure out, but how to react, because you feel everything so much quicker, and it changes the game. The advantage I see to that is, you hook a yellowtail and you've got that Spectra on, you stand a lot more of a chance, get them through the kelp and everything. But
like a kelp cutter rig. Right?
Yeah, but other than that, I honestly don't see that much of an advantage of it. I know I caught a decent yellow this year on 20-pound mono. I was rigged for bass, and I took down a decent fish, no problem on mono. It's just a matter of keeping your tip high and pulling hard.
Sure.
So.
But you're an experienced angler.
Yeah, well, I'm sure our caller is too. Is it
yeah.
John?
Yeah.
Now, what would you say is the perfect fly line rig for when you're trophy fishing? What's the line size? What's the hook size?
Well,
for you, and like you said, obviously, there's plenty of, like you said, there's Spectra and Fluoro and all kinds of different options, but, you saying you being a mono guy, is it 12 pound, is it 15, is it 20?
I like fishing 20.
Okay.
But again, if it's a pick bite and you're scratching, then you might want to drop down. Bait size, you're always going to match your hook to your bait. So this year 20 pound and number 2 hook's been fine.
Been working out for you.
Yeah, but then if you have Deans in the bait, and it's like, okay,
step up the hook size.
Yeah, you might go to a 2.0 or a 1.0.
And what about sinker? Do you like to add any sinker to it? Is it just strictly a fly line thing?
I love fly lining. I love the beauty of just having a hook tied on. It's just
feeling the bite.
Yeah, again, back to just as basic as can be.
There you go. Hey, thanks a lot for the phone call this morning. We want to remind you, be sure to pick up this week's edition of Western Outdoor News, always loaded with good information. Big sea bass on the cover, and they talk about the Big Fish Challenge coming up to the San Diego landings coming up here, too. And, of course, talk about bluefin and sand bass and more. Check it out, this week's edition of Western Outdoor News.
Hey, when we come back, we got a lot more Let's Talk Hookup coming your way. More of your phone calls, more great opportunities to talk to Captain Fred. Again, 858-457-1090 or 877-792-1090. We got more Let's Talk Hookup coming your way on the mighty 1090.
Hey everybody, this is Captain Dwayne Diego, 4-pack charter captain, here to talk to you about Parker Boats and the good folks at West Coast Marine. When it came time to start pinnacle sport fishing and get my own boat, there was only one choice. I wanted a Parker, and there's a real good reason for it. The fishability and seaworthiness. I've been fishing on Parkers for years now, and I know the abuse they can take. Parker Marine builds a heavy-duty industrial strength boat, probably overbuilt, but that's what I need when we're out 12 hours a day, over 300 days a year, running charters. The guys at West Coast Marine built me one heck of a fishing boat. From the custom tower with steering and throttle controls to the backup bait pump system, my Parker 2520 XLD will deliver me to the fishing grounds reliably and safe. Take it from me. If you're ready for a new Parker at a fair, upfront, honest deal, you need to see Kevin Kelly at West Coast Marine, located at 1555 Newport Boulevard in Costa Mesa, or check them out and their inventory and information online at westcoastmarine.com.
Here's John Ireland for Rancho Leonero.
The ranch is unique. It's one of the few places in the world where you can still drive ATVs up the beach. We have fishing from the beach. We have dive trips that we run to Pomo in a number of different spots. Kayaking, of course, has been real big. We were one of the first hotels to introduce kayaking. The ranch is small, it's intimate. It's 34 rooms, so everyone gets to know everyone. The old saying, where everyone knows your name. Well, truly at Rancho Leonero, the employees do know pretty darn near all our guests' names. And what's even more interesting is most of the guests know each other's names. Very personal, very intimate, and a special environment. 2 miles of beachfront, a mile on either side of the hotel. Rancho Leonero is really the last of the old-style Baja fishing resorts. 1-800-646-2252. 1-800-646-BAJA. And RanchoLeonero.com. I'll personally guarantee your best fishing experience and vacation at Rancho Leonero.
All right, time to talk about great gear from Shimano, and I'll tell you what, getting ready, packing my bags for Sagel Sport Fishing tomorrow morning. I'm all Tranks, man, and a Trinidad, but I'm going Tranks 500 for my surface iron, Tranks 400 for the weedless MCs, and Tranks 300 for the swim bait.
Perfect, dude.
And
Perfect.
And then a Trinidad for the live bait. What more do you need?
No, you don't. I mean, that's the thing. Tranks now, with all their sizes of reels, have you anything covered from casting a light lead head even as light as a small anchovy, all the way up to your Tranks 500, fishing big jigs, weedless swim baits, power and castability, but still lightweight and fit in the palm of your hand. That's Tranks.
You bet. Amazing power and, of course, durability, too. It's a tough environment down there, and with that Core Protect, your gear's going to be fine. Whether you wash it off or not, it's going to be ready to go for the next day. So check it out at your local Shimano deal. Match it with a Terramar rod, and you've got a great setup there. Shimano Tranks at your local Shimano dealer.
I like rafting. I love whitewater. But I never forget that snowmelt in the river can cause cold water shock. I wear a life jacket always. Anyone with me has got to do the same. Save the ones you love. A message from California State Parks Division of Boating and Waterways.
Fisherman's Landing is the top choice in local and long-range fishing. Hi, this is Doug Kern. Our hardworking crew is always looking for ways to improve your fishing experience. We offer the finest open party trips from 1 to 3 days, the best charter boats available, and of course, our world-renowned long-range fleet is second to none. We are proud to say Fisherman's Landing is now a full-service sport fishing operation, offering half-day trips on the Dolphin, and now, for the first time in the long history of Fisherman's Landing, we have 3/4-day open party trips on the Liberty. We built the Liberty specifically to offer a better experience. Run by veteran captain Taro Takeuchi, the 85-foot Liberty is the first open party 3/4-day boat to offer bunks for your comfort. She also has huge bait capacity and RSW fish holds to keep your catch fresh. Plus, Liberty has a big galley and 2 interior heads with showers. Our open party trips from half-day, 3/4-day, or 1 to 3 day trips can be easily booked online at fishermanslanding.com or give us a call at 619-221-8500. I'll see you at Fisherman's Landing in San Diego.
XEPRS 1090 AM Rosarito, Baja California.
San Diego's sports leader.
The home of ESPN Radio. The mighty 1090.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Hookup on the Mighty 1090. Hey, as promised, it's time to find out what's biting out there. Today, the Catch Report is sponsored in part by Scorpion Sport Fishing, featuring 2 of the best boats in the East Cape, a 35-foot Cabo Yachts, the El Regalo, and the 26-foot twin outboard center console Scorpion. They also offer beach fishing, and the professionals at Scorpion Sport Fishing are equipped and determined to make your fishing dreams come true. Check scorpionsportfishing.com for the finest charters in the East Cape, and we're going to get started of a Dana War Sport Fishing. We got a guest appearance. The man, Captain Chris Pica, is on the line. What's up, Pica?
Good morning, gentlemen. Pete Gray, Rock Cod Rick.
Hey, long time no talk.
Sundays again.
Yeah, I like it. Pica, how are you?
Hey, I'm doing great here, guys. I'm all fired up. We got, we're kicking off our season here, and things are starting to, just coming to gear here. We got our half days going out. We have our 6:30 to 11:30 half day. Then we have our 10 to 3 half day. Then we have our 12 to 5 half day. And guys, during the half days, we're, targeting some calico bass, sand bass. We're getting occasional sheephead and sculpin in there too, but basically, guys, it's been a surface bite on the calicos. The lighter lines have been really productive. Your 10, 12, 15-pound test, those things have been producing more of the bass. And also matching that hook size up with the bait. We have awesome bait, guys. We got like little tiny mackerel mixed in with it. We got anchovies. We got sardines. It's a really decent mix of bait that we have. So we got all kinds of anchovies, all kinds of ammo to throw at them. And what I really like is those, you chum them up with those anchovies. You get these fish going with the anchovies. Then you find one of those nicer hook baits in there, one of those sardines or those really tiny mini macs. Throw that out, and it's game time. And that's a really good, your odds of catching a nice trophy bass, they definitely increase on that. So that's what we got going on with our half days, guys. 3/4 days, we're swinging to the outside there, looking for patties and stuff. There's been some yellows showing up. They're the 5 to 8 pound range, but underneath the patties here. So we're just starting to see those things move in. So that's a really good sign. We've also been seeing a couple yellows in on the spots too. In fact, Captain Shane Manser got a nice little go around with the kids. He had our kids camp out there, and they slid on a couple patties, and they had a couple little go arounds, and they had a great time on that. Caught a handful of those little yellows. But guys, 3/4 days, like I was saying, they're swinging to the outside, looking for kelp patties. They're also coming in doing a little bass fishing. So you're going to want to bring out a bass rod, of course, and then you're also going to bring out maybe like a 20-pound stick, because you never know what you're going to get into. So definitely bring 2 rods with you there, and also be ready. You never know what's going to pop up out here, especially this time of year. Guys, we got our twilights going out. Basically targeting the same things we're doing on half day. Calico bass, sand bass. And guys, we have the Fury doing the overnights and the 5 to 5s. Overnights they're going out and fishing San Clemente Island, and then we have the 5 to 5s. They're over there fishing Catalina. And not only do you get into that really good Catalina bass fishing over there, as well as some of the barracuda and bonita, but there's been some bigger yellows up there too. You know, your 20 to 25 pound range yellows. So guys, you can hop on there with with the legendary captain himself, Captain Rick Dosberg. His boat may be made out of wood, but let me tell you something. That man is made out of steel.
He is. Dosberg, are you kidding me? I remember, man, he's been taking people fishing since I was young. And that was a long time ago, Chris.
Yeah. I'm getting up there too, Pete. Let me tell you.
Hey, how do we go fishing at Dana Wharf Sport Fishing? We want to do that.
All right, guys, you can get a hold of us at area code 949-496-5794. You can look us up at our website there at danawharf.com. You can even get our Dana Wharf Sport Fishing app, too, and get all the latest and greatest up-to-date info on that one.
Fantastic.
Good info,
and, of course, right on the front page of our website, letstalkhookup.com, you can click on that Dana Wharf banner and save a bunch of bucks on half and three-quarter-day trips. Nice guest appearance there, Pika. Nice to hear from you, and we'll talk to you guys next Sunday.
Hey, great to hear from you guys. Great to talk to you guys. Take care. We'll see you soon.
All right. Thanks a lot for the call this morning. While we await Gunderson, our surf guru, I got to tell you, the Catch Report is sponsored in part by surffishtackle.com, where you'll find all the gear you'll need to catch fish on the beach. Surffishtackle.com, and if you use the code Corbina, you get free shipping at surffishtackle.com. And while I'm talking about surffishtackle.com, you know, Bill also does our weekly email blast as well as our fantastic newsletters and such. Sign up for the newsletter. Sign up for the email blast. We're going to be doing a great giveaway. We're going to be doing contests for those people that are on our newsletter. It's easy. Just go to our front page, hookup1090.com or letstalkhookup.com, either one, and you just go and do the sign up there, and you get on our email list. We only send it out once a week, and we keep you abreast of what's going on the fishing grounds, as well as what's going on the radio show, and any interesting tidbits of travel and such like that. So check that out. Let'sTalkHookup.com. Just sign up for our email blast and get on the list, and you have a chance to win some great prizes coming up in the near future.
You got it. Well, hey, let's continue with that Catch Report. Speaking of surf fishing, find out what's going on with the surf guru himself. Gundy Gunderson's on the line. What's up, Gundy?
Hey, what's going on, gentlemen?
You are, Gundy. What's up?
Not me, but this fishing sure is. You know, it's June, the water's warming, sand crabs, lots of bait around, grunion in the mix. We got a grunion run coming up. All the elements are there. This week specifically, I'm going to talk about the croaker bite, and that's the inshore species that keep us guys busy. We'll start up north. The Corbina bite, and this is actually up and down the coast, is really taken off this week. You know, we've been talking about seeing fish here for a few weeks, catching some smaller ones. Well, some bigger ones we're biting this week, and the sand crabs, you got to hunt them, but the better quality sand crabs are starting to come into the mix. It's not all that small, so it depends on where you're at. But lugworms have been a good second choice if you got that smaller bait. But the top fish this week, 6 pound, 1 ounce Corbina taken off of, that's a tanker, taken off of Torrance Beach there this week on a sand crab. That's as good as it gets on a Corbina catch. That's a wall hanger, as they say. The spot fin bite, another croaker, was also very good this week. You know, I have good reports from Seal Beach, Huntington Pier, Newport Harbor, Doheny, Old Man's, Oceanside, and the lagoons. The lagoons, we've talked about how good the fishing is. And this week, Pacific Coast is having actually the whole month is having a Croaker Derby. They posted 3 fish this week. 7 pound, 1 ounce was the big spot fin. 5 pound, 8 ounce the second fish, and then 2 5 pound, 6 ounce fishes are on the leaderboard there. Fresh mussel has been the top bait. 7 pound spot fin croaker. That's another wall hanger. And then another member of the croaker family, the orangemouth corvina. They had 3 fish out of the lagoon this week. The top orangemouth corvina was 11 pounds. Another trophy croaker. So when you see this happen, you know, this is when it's time to fish. You know, Mission Bay, San Diego Bay, another place to find those orangemouth, kind of a rare fish, but we've been talking about how they're seeing more and more. And, oh, by the way, Pacific Coast checked in over 10 legal halibut out of the lagoon. So just to make a point here, this is an example of how important the estuaries, the lagoons, and the bays are to our inshore fishery. And it's just vital that we take care of these. You know, I think California has only 6% of its historical estuaries are left. So we really need to take care of what we got, because they are literally fish factories. And right now they are jugged with juvenile fish, bigger fish, bait fish, you know, anchovies, smelt, grunion, all the mollusks, the worms, the whole deal. And what a fantastic fishery.
What a great message that is, Gundy. That is true. Take care of those estuaries, because it just means more fishing. 11-pound orangemouth. Man, that's a giant.
That is
sea bass size. Yeah.
That's old Salton Sea type
stuff.
Yeah,
no kidding, man. Well, good job, Gundy. Great to hear you, and great to have you on the show, and we will talk to you next Sunday.
All right, gentlemen, you know what to do this week if you're inshore fishing.
Yeah, all right.
No doubt, Gundy.
Very much.
Have a good one, you guys.
Thanks, Gundy.
You too. All right, phones are packed up. One line open. You want to get through. It's 858-457-1090. Let's jump in the phones, Rick.
Bruce in Lemon Grove, you're up next on Let's Talk Hookup. Good morning, Bruce.
Good morning, guys. Hey, my question was for Captain Fred. How far north do you normally go?
Generally, we stay within the Point Loma area. We fished, rockfish this spring off of Mission Bay, the 270 area. We ranged up there a little bit, but generally anything past the Mission Bay jetties is getting up there for us. We tend to fish Point Loma and Imperial Beach 95% of the time or more.
Your trips are 5 hours long, generally speaking. Right?
6 and 5. Yeah, 6. Traditionally, our morning trip is 6 hours, half-hour cushion between trips, and 5.5 on the second trip.
Okay.
Yeah.
And generally speaking, you don't want your run time any more than, say, 45 minutes or something like that each way?
We like to think that at least half the time is spent with lines in the water.
Sure.
And, if you're chasing yellowtail or dragging lures hoping to catch a school of bonita, there's times when it's less. But ideally, we like to spend more of the time fishing than traveling.
That's the idea. All right. Very good. Hey, thanks a lot for the phone call this morning.
Hey, when we come back, we got a lot more Let's Talk Hookup coming your way. More of your phone calls, more great information. You stay tuned. You're listening to Let's Talk Hookup on the mighty 1090.
It's time to get excited about fishing, and Point Loma Sport Fishing has everything you'll need. They offer half-day and three-quarter-day trips daily, perfect for families and the novice or seasoned fishermen. Point Loma Sport Fishing also offers overnight to multi-day trips, targeting the best of seasonal catches. Visit their website at pointlomasportfishing.com, where you can purchase tickets online and get more information on the trips available, or call 619-223-1627.
What a tuna and yellowtail season last year. Many say the best in 30 years. Could this season be even better? Don't be caught without the right gear. Now is the time to stock up on the trolling lure that proved to be the best. X-Rap Magnum by Rapala. Every X-Rap Magnum runs perfect right out of the box. They all have extreme action and a controlled, deep-diving, aggressive swimming motion. The large diving lip partners with premium BMC hooks and an irresistible rattle. The X-Rap Magnum by Rapala can be trolled at high speeds without rolling or kicking out at depths to 15 feet. Bottom line, the X-Rap Magnum is the ultimate trolling lure for Southern California and Baja saltwater fishing. With a textured translucent body, internal holographic foil, and 3D holographic eye, X-Rap Magnums are irresistible to saltwater game fish. Available in a variety of colors and sizes. No matter what you choose, the fish can't resist X-Rap Magnum by Rapala. Ask your local tackle dealer which is the hottest color and size and start catching more fish. See the entire line at Rapala.com. You've heard all about it. You know the angler's catching fish habit, so what's holding you back? It's a fact. FishDope.com really does help you catch more fish and burn less fuel. FishDope.com is the only fish finding service with a spotter plane along with a crew of top anglers on the water almost every day that report actual locations and catches. You can get daily catch reports from Point Conception to San Martin Island, 365 days a year. FishDope.com is for everyone, whether you have your own boat, fish on your friend's boat, or a sport boat. FishDope.com has online planning tools, moon phase, tides, hot bite icons, and more. So bottom line is, if you don't have FishDope.com, well, you're probably missing a lot of bites. Membership costs less than $50 of gas, and that's for the entire year. That's right, 1 year. What a bargain. Plus, use the special code to save $20 on a new FishDope.com membership. Check it out today. FishDope.com. Catch more fish, burn less fuel.
XEPRS 1090 AM, Rosarito, Baja California.
San Diego's sports leader. The home of ESPN Radio. The mighty 1090.
Pete here. I was fortunate enough to use the new Simrad NSS Evo 2 touchscreen chart plotter and sonar unit on my boat this summer and fall. And let me say, it's truly incredible. With an easy-to-use tablet-style interface that's fresh but familiar, the new Simrad NSS Evo 2 combines a multi-touch screen with push-to-select rotary dial for precision control and speedy response. As for marking schools of tuna, yellowtail, and more, it's the best. You run over a school, and there they are in full color and high definition. The new NSS Evo 2 built-in sonar technology, including chirp and structure scan, can't be beat. I recently added the Simrad AP24 autopilot to my system. I've had other autopilots before, but I can tell you this one is simple, sensitive, and accurate. It integrates with my Simrad NSS Evo 2. I set a waypoint, touch the screen, and the boat steers to that spot. There's a lot more to the new Simrad NSS Evo 2 system and AP24 autopilot I'd like to tell you, but best just go to your local Simrad dealer or see simrad-yachting.com for more details. The bluefin are abundant this year, but getting them to bite is another story. But if you're willing to chase them, there's an opportunity to land the catch of a lifetime. Now, getting the deal of a lifetime on a new Ford is much less effort because the gigantic summer sales event is going on now at your San Diego County Ford dealer. Choose from a great selection of cars, trucks, and SUVs and save big on interest charges with 0 APR long-term financing. On top of that, your Ford dealer will give you an additional bonus for your qualified trade. This special offer is available to anyone who gets approved through Ford Motor Credit. You'll also find great deals on new Ford Super Duty, Motor Trend Magazine's 2017 Truck of the Year. So why chase deals all over town when you can land the deal of a lifetime on a new Ford car, truck, or SUV you've always wanted during the Ford Summer Sales Event? Stop by any San Diego County Ford dealer today. They'll be glad to hook you up. Learn more at buyfordnow.com.